Hey folks, it's time for your legal minutes, and that's why I'm joined by Brent, Stewart, and Elizabeth VonCannon of Stewart Law Offices, and we have to talk about workplace accidents. Unfortunately, they happen. They happen across the country. They happen in the Carolinas. At the end of the day, if somebody gets injured at work and they are rehabbing, how does that part of it happen to rehab back to where they were?
Well, the insurance carrier gets to pick the treatment that you get, so they'll pick what type of treatment you receive. The rehab you get is totally dependent on what the doctor recommends that you get. You have to do the rehab. If you refuse the rehab, then you're not going to get your weekly checks. When you're out on workers' comp, as long as you follow doctor's instructions and the employer doesn't have work for you, then they have to pay you 2/3 of your wages. So rehab is just something that you have to do. It's for the benefit of getting you back to work, which is the overall goal of workers' comp.
Now, you mentioned it a couple times there, doctor's orders. You have to follow doctor's orders. But Elizabeth, who gets to pick the doctor? Do you get to pick it?
No, so in a workers' comp case in North Carolina or in South Carolina, the workers' comp insurance carrier gets to direct your treatment. That means they get to pick which doctors you go to, which therapists you see, those kind of things. Towards the end of your case, when you are released from treatment, you can get a second opinion, but you have to follow the carrier's direction in treatment up until that point.
Now, at the end of the day, while you're going through rehab, while you're missing some work, is there a part of pain and suffering here that you can tap into?
Workers' comp in both North and South Carolina gives nothing for pain and suffering. Both states are based on a total economic loss model, and your benefits and your settlement at the end are just directly based on how the injury affects your ability to work at the job you were doing and into the future.
Can somebody opt out of comp and go ahead and turn around and sue the employer?
Well, in South Carolina, you cannot opt out. We have sued outside of comp if the employer has denied the claim, saying that they were on their way to work or any other kind of reason. So then we've sued in third party to go after pain and suffering and make it a different claim. I think it's a little bit different in North Carolina.
In North Carolina, the only way that you can go after your employer directly instead of going through workers' comp is going to be if you can prove some sort of intentional harm by your employer. I've not seen that happen. I think it's an incredibly high bar to meet. So I would say, almost always you have to go through workers' comp in North Carolina, and you can't go after the employer directly.
Everybody wants to avoid an accident at the workplace, but if it does happen, you want the right people in your corner with the right insight like Brent and Elizabeth have given us. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This QC Morning segment was sponsored by Stewart Law Offices.